So when I say the word gamer, I bet a pretty specific image pops into your head.
Oh, for sure. A teenager in a dark room.
Exactly, yeah. Headset on, maybe shouting at a screen, totally cut off from the, quote, real world.
It feels like this isolated, harmless little bubble.
Right. But today, we are going to take a needle to that bubble. Because if you actually look at the data, and we've got a lot of it to get through, that image is just dangerously out of date.
We're so far beyond kids just playing Mario.
So far beyond. We're talking about a massive, multi-billion-dollar global economy that has kind of quietly become a primary target for organized crime.
And not just petty stuff. I mean, we're talking sophisticated operations.
Money laundering, corporate espionage, and honestly, some of the most manipulative social engineering I've ever come across.
Well, it's not an exaggeration to say that gaming has become a mirror of the real world.
How so?
It has a real economy, it has social structures, it has politics, and, inevitably, it has the predators who know exactly how to exploit all of that.
To help us unpack this, we're doing a deep dive into an interview with Josep Albors.
Ah, from ESET. Yeah, if you're in cybersecurity, you definitely know his name.
He's a specialist there. But what's really important for us is that he's been in this world for over 40 years.
Which gives him this really unique vantage point. He's seen the whole arc.
The entire thing. From, swapping floppy disks and worrying about boot sector viruses?
All the way to the metaverse and blockchain gaming today. He gets the tech, obviously, but he really hones in on the human element.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive. We want to trace that evolution to understand how cyber criminals have, leveled up right alongside the industry.
And what's wild is that the criminals are often way more innovative than the security teams.
That's what struck me. They've moved from just simple vandalism to these incredibly high-stakes financial crimes.
And the target isn't just the player anymore.
No. It's the streamer trying to raise money for charity. It's the game developer. And maybe the scariest one.
The corporation that gets breached because an employee just wanted to install a game on a work laptop.
Let's start with the history, because Albers makes this really key point about connectivity. Back in the late 90s, gaming was like a destination.
Right. You went to a LAN party, you had to physically haul your giant beige PC tower to a friend's basement.
Or a cyber cafe. You were physically there on a local network.
Which completely changed the risk profile. The threats were mostly offline. You might get a virus from a disk your friend gave you, but you weren't constantly exposed to the entire global internet.
But Albers points out that even back then, the seeds of today's problems were already planted.
Yeah, it's a good point. Old threats don't really disappear in cyber, do they? They just find new ways to get to you.
And he talks specifically about the crack.
The original sin of gaming security. And it really hasn't changed in 40 years.
So you've got a game, it costs $50, $60, and you have a player who just doesn't want to pay.
So they go to some shady website or a forum and download a crack to bypass the copy protection.
It's like hot wiring the software.
The problem is the transaction. You think you're getting something for free, but what you're actually doing is voluntarily downloading an unknown file from an anonymous source.
And then running it with full administrative privileges on your machine.
You are literally opening the front door and inviting the Trojan horse inside.
And back then, the result was usually just annoying, right? It'd slow your PC down, maybe flash some ads. Vandalism, basically.
That is the key difference Albers highlights. Back then, the target was the machine. The goal was disruption.
And today?
Today, the target is your identity.
Because the identity itself now has real, liquid value.
Precisely. Just think about a modern gaming account, like on Steam or Epic Games. It's not just a list of games anymore.
No, it's a portfolio of digital assets.
Albers specifically calls out the market for skins in games like Counter-Strike.
Oh yeah, the cosmetic items.
Mm-hmm.
They don't change how the game plays, they just look cool. But those marketplaces are insane.
Insane! Some of those skins trade for thousands of euros. Thousands. And they are liquid. You can sell them for crypto or cash almost instantly. So if a criminal gets your credentials, they are liquidating an asset. They can drain your entire inventory before you even know you've been hacked.
It basically turns your game account into a bank vault.
But with a much weaker lock.
And the way they get the keys to that lock has evolved too. It's not the old Nigerian prince emails anymore.
Not at all. The attack has moved to where users feel comfortable, Criminals are in your DMs on Discord, they're in the in-game voice chat, you're relaxed, you're having fun, you think you're with friends.
And then someone drops a link. Hey, check out this cool replay.
And your guard is down, so you click. But Albor says they're even going a step further now.
Yeah.
They're infiltrating official infrastructure. They're uploading fake apps to the Google Play Store that look like official game guides or companion apps.
That's terrifying. We're trained to trust the official store.
Yeah.
You think, well, if it's on Google Play, it must be safe.
And that's the assumption they're banking on. The app might even work as a guide, but in the background, it's just harvesting your credentials with a fake login screen.
So the method is sharper,
Yeah.
but Albers also gets into the psychology of why it works so well.
It's all about the hook. And in gaming, the hook is almost always one of two things.
An unfair advantage, like cheats.
Or the fear of missing out. FOMO. The bait is exclusivity. He brings up a perfect example with Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh, GTA 6.
Yeah.
I mean, the hype for that game is completely off the charts. It's probably the most anticipated piece of media on the planet.
And the criminals know that. They track that hype, so they create these elaborate scams offering exclusive beta access.
Click here to download the leaked beta.
Exactly, which of course doesn't exist. Rockstar hasn't released anything.
But you want it to be true so badly.
Your excitement just overrides your critical thinking. You download the file thinking you're about to see the game of the decade, and instead you're installing malware that's scraping your browser for passwords and crypto keys.
And it's easy to just blame kids for falling for this. But Albers is clear that adults are just as vulnerable.
Absolutely. The bait just changes. But
Right.
there is one story in the source material that just, it really stopped me cold. Albers shares it to show just how low the morality bar is.
This is the streamer tragedy, right?
Yeah. I mean, this story dispels any idea of some harmless prankster hacker. This is pure predation.
It's heartbreaking.
So you have a streamer on Twitch, and this person isn't playing for fame. They're actively raising money for their own cancer treatment.
Okay, so it's a very public, very vulnerable situation.
Very. And a user pops into the chat acting all helpful. Hey, you should play this cool new indie game. It'll help promote your channel, get more eyes on your fundraiser.
Wow, it sounds so supportive. It's manipulative kindness.
That's a perfect way to put it. So the streamer, trusting their community, downloads the game, but it wasn't a game.
It was a Trojan.
The second they ran it, it didn't load a game. It just accessed their crypto wallet.
And what was the damage?
It drained over $30,000.
$30,000.
Money that was meant for life-saving medical treatment. Just gone.
That is absolutely gut-wrenching.
It just shows there's no conscience. They saw a person fighting for their life, and they just saw a target. Now, Albers does say the community rallied and helped identify the attacker, which is great.
Yeah.
But the trauma of that theft is done.
It really hammers home the real-world impact. But I want to pivot to the more technical side for a second. Albers talks about how criminals use the gaming platforms themselves to hide.
This is where the sophistication just goes to another level. So if you're running a botnet, a network of infected computers, you need a way to send them commands.
The command and control server, or C2.
Right. And normally, your security software is looking for that weird traffic. If your computer suddenly starts talking to a server in a country you've never heard of, it raises a red flag.
So the criminals need a way to communicate that looks normal.
And what's more normal for a gamer's computer than talking to Steam?
Wait, so you're saying they're using Steam to run their botnets?
Yeah. They're using the Steam community forums. Albers explains that criminals will post what looks like a gibberish comment on a random game forum.
Okay.
But the malware on an infected computer is programmed to go to that specific forum page, read that comment, and decode it as a command.
That's incredible. So the malware just checks the forum for new orders.
Yep. And because all the network traffic says is connected to Steam.com, the firewall or antivirus just lets it through. It's trusted traffic.
Hiding in plain sight.
Albers mentions that big ransomware groups and info stealers, like a group called Luma, use this as a backup. If the police take down their main servers,
They just post a comment on a Steam forum and get their whole botnet back online.
instantly. It's an incredibly resilient system.
And this isn't new, right? Leveraging our hardware. I'm thinking of that NVIDIA story from 2011.
The fake drivers. That's a classic. A file was going around that promised to be a new NVIDIA driver that would optimize your game performance.
The holy grail for PC gamers. We always want more frames per second.
We'll do anything. But of course, it didn't optimize anything. It just silently used the power of your graphics card to mine cryptocurrency for the criminals.
So you pay the electricity bill, your hardware wears out, and they get all the profit.
It's theft of resources. But sometimes, and this is where it gets really scary, the threat isn't even something you download.
What do you mean?
Albers talks about a recent incident with an older Call of Duty title on Microsoft Game Pass.
Game Pass is a totally legitimate service. You're paying Microsoft for it.
Exactly. But the version of the game they uploaded had a known, unpatched vulnerability in its multiplayer code. A bug called a remote code execution, or RCE.
So legit game, legit service, but a broken lock on the door.
That's it. All you had to do was join a multiplayer lobby. You didn't click anything. You didn't download a cheat. Just by playing the game, an attacker could exploit that bug and compromise your entire machine.
That is so unsettling. You can do everything right and still get hit.
And this bleeds right into the professional world. This is the lateral movement danger Albers warns about.
This has to be the nightmare for every IT department.
It is. The line between our personal and work devices is gone. People work from home on their gaming PCs, or they install a game on their work laptop in a hotel room.
Okay, so let's walk through that scenario. I'm on a business trip, I'm bored, so I download a cracked game on my work laptop.
You install it, you get infected, now the attacker's on your laptop. But they don't care about your laptop.
They care about what it's connected to, the corporate network.
Exactly. The next morning, you VPN into the office to check your email, and the malware just piggybacks on that connection. It moves laterally from your laptop onto the company servers.
So the game was just the open window to rob the entire house.
And because it came from a trusted employee device, it's so much harder to detect.
There's another layer to this corporate risk, too, the anti-cheat software. I've heard gamers complain about kernel-level access. What does that mean?
So this is a huge debate. The kernel is the absolute core of your operating system. It has total control over everything. We call it ring zero.
It's the brainstem of a computer.
Yeah, right. So, to catch cheaters, game developers started making anti-cheat software that runs at that kernel level. They argue they need that total access to see everything and spot the hacks.
They need the master key to the whole house.
But if the game company has the master key, that key becomes a massive target. If that anti-cheat software has a single vulnerability, an attacker gets God mode on your entire PC.
That seems like a crazy risk just to stop someone from cheating in a shooter.
It is, and it's such a big risk that Albers mentions. Even Microsoft is looking to limit this kind of access for all software, not just games. It's a classic battle between convenience and security.
Wow. We talked a lot about the doom and gloom, but I want to go back to the economy for a sec. Albers shared this fun fact about Ultima Online.
Oh, the virtual housing crisis. I love this story.
It's amazing.
So Ultima Online was one of the very first big online worlds. And years ago, the land where you could build a house was finite. There's only so much of it.
Basic supply and demand.
Exactly. So players started speculating they'd buy up land just to hold it, drive up prices, and it created this massive virtual real estate bubble that eventually burst.
And Albers points out this happened years before the 2008 real-world financial crash.
It's a perfect example. Wherever you have humans and value, you get markets, you get speculation, and you get fraud.
So with all this, what do we do? Do we just tell people to stop playing games?
No, absolutely not. And Albers is very clear on this. You don't demonize the medium or blame the victim. The blame is with the criminal.
So what are the solutions?
On the technical side, companies need to use simple logic checks. He talks about impossible travel.
Impossible travel.
Yeah, it's a behavior check. If my account logs in from Valencia, Spain at 2 p.m. and then from Vladivostok, Russia at 4 p.m.
The system should block it because you can't teleport.
Exactly. It's a simple fix that stops a huge number of account takeovers.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
What about for us, for parents who might be listening and freaking out right now?
This might be the most important takeaway from Albers. Parents need to be digital references.
What does that mean in practice?
It means you can't just hand a kid a tablet and walk away. You have to be involved, understand the game, know who they're talking to, but most importantly, you have to build a safety net, not a prison.
Because if a kid thinks they're going to get in trouble, they'll just hide it from you.
Precisely. If a child clicks a bad link or gets scammed, they have to feel safe coming to you. If they think, Mom's going to take my iPad away, they won't say a word. And the criminal wins. The parent has to be the person they run to.
That's such solid advice. It's about building trust so you can face the threat together.
And on that note of understanding the culture, he also recommended the Video Game Museum in EB, Alicante.
Right. To see the history and appreciate that this is a rich, creative culture worth protecting.
It's not just a crime scene, it's a culture.
I'm definitely adding that to my travel list.
Yeah.
So big picture.
Yeah.
We started by saying gaming is a mirror of the real world.
And I think the evidence really shows that. It has an economy, social structures, and, yeah, crime. It's evolved from a hobby into a central part of our digital lives.
Which brings us to a final thought for you listening. We all lock our front doors. We're careful with our bank PNs. We have two-factor authentication on our financial apps.
But I mean, do you have 2FA on your Steam account?
That's the question, isn't it? As our work and personal lives merge on our devices, are we treating our digital toys with the same security we give our financial tools?
Because as we've seen today, the game might just be the back door to your entire digital life.
Something to think about. That's all for this deep dive. Stay safe, stay skeptical, and keep learning.
See you next time.